What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another exclusive interview with TurnbuckleTimes. My name is Scott Mitchell, and today I am joined by the stunner herself. She is the inaugural PWJ Women's Champion, which we will definitely get into because that has absolutely been so much fun. Emily Jaye. How are you doing today, Emily?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. And, I got to say, it's a pleasure to work with you because I remember when you first started wrestling and just the growth that we've seen of yours over the past few years has just been amazing, truthfully. And, pat on your back, massive congratulations to you because it's the hard work you can see is really paying off. So keep, you're killing it. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Not a problem. And, in order to kind of share your story, I did kind of want to start a little bit from the beginning. And that is when and why did you first become a fan of professional wrestling growing up?
I became a fan when I was like really little because I used to go to like my aunt's house and my cousin was actually an independent wrestler for a very long time. And he like had the Royal Rumble on one time. And my first like memory of wrestling is Maria Kanellis getting her Playboy offer. And every time I tell her that, I'm like, girl, you're the reason I got into wrestling. She's like, oh my God. She was like, why that moment? Out of every moment it could have been, why is it the Playboy offer? I was like, no, girl, it's fine. But like, once I saw like girls in the ring, I was like, oh, this isn't just for guys. And ever since then, I've loved wrestling. Then I decided very young that I wasn't going to do a normal 9 to 5. I'm going to do the damn thing and be a professional wrestler. And now we're here.
And you know what? You definitely made the right choice because you are absolutely killing it. And just the growth that we've seen of you to become that inaugural PWJ Women's Champion, the hard work that you've been putting in at training, I'm sure. It can't be easy, right? Like I'm sure it's been hours, and days, and weeks, and months of practice. But really, for you, what went into that training, and what went into you deciding, like, hey, this is what I want to do, compared to working like a 9 to 5 or something like that?
So, like, I never saw myself having a normal job, literally ever. Like, I was just like I wasn't a very big like school person. Like, I graduated high school, went to college for a year, then dropped out. I said, "Yep, I can't do this." Um, so like I started looking around at like wrestling schools. I'm like, okay, what does it actually take to be wrestling? So I started looking around, found a school in my hometown, and went there for about a year. And then I discovered very quickly that you need to do research on schools before you just choose one. That's the closest achievements. Don't do that ever. And I decided to move to Florida and train at Flatbacks Wrestling School with Sean Spears and Tyler Breeze. And that was by far the best decision I've ever made. And now we're almost 4 years later. We're here.
And you spoke about it. Your history at Flatbacks, training at Flatbacks with Sean Spears and NXT, formerly Ty Dillinger. For those watching this who might not be too familiar with, like, his current work, which I love him still. He's killing it. I loved him as a Perfect 10. Tyler Breeze too, absolute gold mine. But like, what was it like for you to learn under them and work with them and see like all the knowledge that they had to offer?
So those are two people that are very smart in wrestling. Like they can like I can go to them with like an idea and they're gonna be like, okay, like this goes with this goes with this. Like I love their minds in wrestling. They're some of the smartest wrestling minds in wrestling, I feel. Um I don't know what I would do without them. I am so grateful that I got to train underneath them because I went into flatbacks thinking I knew what the international was. Definitely didn't know what it was. Because I was taught it wrong at my old wrestling school. So when I got there, oh, great. But yeah, they're two of the best wrestling minds in wrestling, and I'm so grateful about that.
And I have to ask you too, what really made you want to choose Flatbacks over? There's a bunch of great schools in Florida, especially, and obviously living in New York, where I'm at too. Like New York is flooded with them. So many great schools on the East Coast in general.
Yeah.
What drew you to Flatbacks?
So I was a very big Tyler Breeze fan when I was little. Very big Breeze fan out here. And I actually have a picture of me and Breeze from like 2019, 2018, 2019. When WrestleMania was in New York and New Jersey. And I had told him I wanted to be a wrestler. And I was like, you know what? Like, once I realized that he had a school, I was like, this is perfect. And it's in Florida. I love Florida.
Definitely. And you know what? Seeing your growth, like learning under Tyler Breeze and Sean Spears, you can certainly see their influence on you. Like when we see you in the ring and when we see you come down to the ring, you have that charisma that Tyler Breeze always had when he made his entrance, and Sean Spears too. Like like very few others can. But what was the most what was the biggest piece of advice they gave you? Which if you had to say about like how to hold yourself or anything in the ring as well.
I think the biggest piece of advice they gave me was don't let anyone predict what you're going to do. Like, or dictate. Our word, guys. Don't let anybody dictate what you're going to do. If you see yourself as this, be this, and show them why you deserve to be that. Like, don't just fall for whatever somebody's doing. Like, for the longest time, I had a certain promoter that I had worked for a couple times. They're like, "Oh, we want you to go out there, and we want you to be a manager, and all this stuff." And I'm like, "Dude, I'm your manager at your vessel." And they're like, "Oh, like you're always just gonna be a pretty face to us, and we don't want to see you." Fine, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. I can win a wrestle. And yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm very glad that we don't just see that manager side. We rarely see that manager side now because in the ring you have shown more than enough like that you are here to stay and you are a presence in the ring. And and that starts with your entrance with the whole stunner persona. You come out to the ring and you just own it when you come out there. And I have to ask you, for fans who are watching this who might not know what the stunner exactly means and what it is, what's the best way you would describe the stunner?
That I'm too hot to handle. Like, all eyes on me. All eyes are going to be on me. I'm every man's dream. And I'm going to give you a reason to talk about me at the end of the match. Rather that's the looks of me, rather that's the moves I do in the ring, rather that's the way I get beat up. It doesn't matter. You're going to be talking about me at the end of the night, and I'm going to give you a reason.
Honestly, and I gotta say, like the stunner, when you think of it, I just think of Emily J. Like, it just went so well together. When you first did like kind of put that character together and you were like kind of deciding like, okay, I'm gonna start being on shows soon. What avenue do I want to go in? Do I want to be I don't know, we see like so many biker chicks now and stuff like that, as opposed to like something like that, you know what I mean? Like what really went into you deciding like, all right, well I could do this, or I could do this. And picking that character and kind of becoming the stunner.
So I know a lot of people hate the Divas era. I love the Divas era. Like, I just loved the characters they had during the Divas era. Because to me, I was like, oh my God, like, they're so pretty, but they can also beat your ass at the end of the day. And I was telling, I think Deanna Barraza this the other day. I was like, bro, I'm trying to bring the Divas era back. Like, I love the Divas. Like, we are here for them. And the funny thing is, I didn't even come up with the stunner gimmick. Breeze and Spears came up with it because for the longest time I wanted to be a cheerleading gimmick, like because I was a cheerleader for 8 years. And I was like, let me just transfer this into this. But before I was wrestling, I was actually WWE shop model for a very long time. And they're like, oh, like let's just go on your comments and see what people are saying. And we saw a lot of like, oh my God, you're stunning comments. And they're like, oh my God, this is perfect. Stunning, stunner, works perfect together. There you are. You're the stunner. They're like, it's up to you to decide what you're going to do with that. But there you go. That's a little monologue. The word. I'm happily
Yeah.
right now.
You're good. I have to ask you too. Obviously, modeling and wrestling are two very different things. But if there's anything that being a model prepared you for this world with, what would you say that it was?
Always try to look your best. Even when you feel like you don't want to look your best, you need to go up there and look your best. Like there's so many times where I've been like, I don't want to wear makeup to this show. I don't want to do this. And then I'm like, hold on, you never know who can be here. And if you are trying to sell yourself to a company, you want to look 100%.
For, you know what? That's actually really good advice because I got to tell you, I had this discussion with Miles Hawkins in a recent interview of mine. And I have to tell you, like, just listening to what he said about, like, you know, kind of putting that gear together where it's like he's selling a star, you know, you're not selling a random dude in black trunks coming down to the ring. Like, you got to do everything you can to kind of go that extra mile, I guess. And I know it's not easy to come up with, and I know it's expensive, obviously, but it's just it means something for sure.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I love Miles. Miles is a great example of that. He like see the difference between Miles Hawkins and him as like a person. Like it's crazy. Like you are trying to sell a star and not.
Yeah. So I want to jump right into it because you have such a busy weekend ahead of you at Wrestivus this weekend. Right before we start talking about the matches, so what are your thoughts right off the bat competing in such a big collective like event? And does that type of atmosphere add any pressure or any excitement to you as well?
So I actually love working these types of weekends where it's like a bunch of shows coming together. I just did Mania Week in Vegas, and Lord, I was stressed out, but it was a great time. It was a wonderful time. I had a wonderful time. But it was great. I love these types of weekends because you get to see people that like normally you only see like once every couple months, and everybody just somehow comes together. And I'm like, oh my gosh! And you get to see different types of shows, and I'm excited. This is actually my first time working with Beyond or like anything up in Worcester. Like I'm very excited for this. A lot of my friends have told me lots of good things about the White Eagle Hall. So I'm excited.
And you know what? Your insane weekend starts on Saturday, where you will be defending your PWJ Women's Championship in a match that is not. It's just throwing you right to the wolves because you have TNA Jada Stone and two WWE ID prospects in Laynie Luck, who I believe is the WWE ID Women's Champion, and Valentina Rossi. What is your mindset heading into that?
So I've actually known Valentina Rossi since I was training. She was there when I was training. We got very close during that time. And I got to finally wrestle her in like a 6-man tag during Vegas. And I was like, girl, I want something more. Like we barely touched each other in that match. And I'm like, I want something more. And when I had the opportunity, when I realized she was gonna be in town, I was like, hey buddy, I called the promoter and I was like, yeah, we need her because I feel like she doesn't get shown enough. And she's an amazing worker. And then with Jada Stone, I have known Jada since the beginning, and to see her grow has been an amazing thing. And I'm so excited to have her in the match. And then Laynie Luck, oh my goodness, a workhorse out of Titus. All the respect to her. But at the end of the night, I'm still going to be studying them all, and I'm walking out still your PWJ with this.
And you know what? I love that you said. I love what you said there because honestly, I love Jada Stone and I love Laynie Luck. I do because they're both tremendous, tremendous wrestlers in the ring. Valentina Rossi has to be one of the most underrated people around today.
Yes, yes.
She really is because, like, you know, you always hear about like, oh, Laynie Luck and then Alley Catch and then like all these names who are also great in their own right. But you have to give Valentina her flowers because she really is. She's making a name for herself and she looks great in the ring. No one can argue that.
I want all the sauce, baby. I want it all. Give me it all, babe.
It's so true though. And that's going to be an amazing match. I cannot wait to see that match. I think it should be main eventing, but it'll probably be close to the main event.
Well, we'll be semi, guys. Don't worry.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
But that whole show just looks absolutely outstanding. You got Charles Mason versus TJ Perkins, which is going to be insane. You have New Fever versus Miracle Generation, which is going to be a dream. Like I don't know. This might be the biggest PWJ show in history.
I agree. And the thing is, I don't think try to bring a lot of big names. Not saying that any of these big names, but big names like we normally have like at our shows. Because at our last show in March, we had Jonathan Gresham, Mike Santana was a surprise. We had Priscilla Kelly, the Rascals. It was a bunch of people. But like this one feels like very close, and we have some bigger names, but it's mostly
for sure. And you are the inaugural PWJ Women's Champion, defeating 4 other incredibly talented women to win that title in Ava Everett, Jasmine Allure, Kylie Ray, and Zeta Steele last July. What was that whole moment like for you to win that title?
So it was a very emotional sort of deal because I knew for a couple months that I was winning, but the matches ended up changing day of, and I was like, okay, that's fine. Guess we're here. And I made sure that like I had all white gear. I was like, this is something that is very important to me. I was always taught only wear white gear if it is a very important moment. If you're winning a championship, if it's just death match, like wear white. So I had all white gear done because I knew what the belt was going to look like. And my mom come to the show, my brother was at the show, and to be able to win that in front of them and hear the pop of the crowd, like I completely zoned out in the match. And once I heard the bell ring, I was like, oh my god, the crowd's actually reacting very good to this. I was not expecting it. And I am very grateful that PWJ gave me the opportunity to be the inaugural women's champion, and I just proved time and time again why they made the best decisions.
That they did, honestly. And, you kind of got into a little bit at the end there, but, winning a championship, whenever you win a championship, it has to be a special moment.
Yes.
With that said, what does it mean to you to represent PWJ as not just the PWJ Women's Champion, but the first ever to hold that title in what could be a very long, prestigious promotion at this rate? Because PWJ just does not look like it's slowing down. They're on absolutely. So, like 10 years from now, you'll look back and you'll see like you were the first. And what does that mean to you?
So nobody can ever take away that I was the first ever women's champion for the PWJ. I've known the promoter for years now, and he gave me my first trading card when I was first starting out, like maybe less than a year into my wrestling career. He gave me a trading card, and we just got really close. And when he brought up the idea of running shows, I was like, dude, I would love to be a part of it. Throw me to the wolves. I'll do whatever you want. And we have just kept going ever since. And I feel like our shows just keep getting bigger and better. Every time I work any other show besides PWJ, I have people coming up to me asking, like, how do I get booked? I want to get booked for this so bad. I'm like, dude, I can put a word in for you, but that's the best I can do. Like, and it's crazy. Like, a lot of people doubted me, and they still continue to doubt me, and I just keep proving why I deserve a spot in this business and why people have a lot of trust in me.
I love that. I gotta say, you are absolutely killing it. And I love your reign so far as PWJ Women's Champion, because you have had 2 incredible defenses. The first being against Allie Katch, Billy Starks, and Brittany Brooks in a 4-way match, which, holy crap, the star power there. And then you followed up with the singles contest against Priscilla Kelly. You have not been taking it easy. You have not been phoning it in. You're not going up against people like who are still making their way up. These are some very established women that you're going up against. And just what has this reign been like for you?
So it's been a very surreal reign. Like my first title defense, like I got I got to choose who I wanted. And I originally wanted Billy just by herself, and then I'm like, yeah, I can't pin you or submit you. I was like, you're signed, babe. And so we got Brittany Brooks added in there, and I love wrestling Brittany any chance I can get. And then the night before, I get told, "Hey, Alley Catch is getting added to the match." I said, "Oh my god, I've been wanting to wrestle Alley for years now," and it was amazing to do that match. That's still one of my favorite matches to this day. And I think during my past title defense with Priscilla Kelly, she pushed me to my limit. I learned a lot in that match, and it was a very hard hitting match. Something I wasn't used to, and I feel like she made me a better wrestler at the end of the day for that match. And I can't wait to see what people are going to get from this next defense.
Honestly, I couldn't have said it any better because just we've seen you improve so much too since working with all those names. Like, it's just been so fun, and PWJ is continuing to crush it. Women's division, men's division, every division that they have there. So please, anyone watching this, do not miss this show. This show is going to be outstanding. PWJ as part of Wrestivus. It is going to be on IWTV, I believe Saturday night. I think it got the night slot.
Yep, it's 8 p.m.
Yep, it's at the nighttime. Okay, because there's 3 shows in Wrestivus on Saturday. It's gonna be a blast. I cannot wait to watch it all. But PWJ is like my main event. It's what I'm looking forward to the most.
It's exciting.
So that's gonna be a good one, and I'm very happy it's the 8 p.m. one.
Yes, same.
And
it's a 10-hour drive. Yes, I'm very happy it's 8 p.m.
There you go. And switching gears now, on Sunday, the following day, you will be in a very competitive match against one of New England's absolute star wrestlers here, Liviyah, at WWR Plus. What is your mindset heading into this one?
So I've been studying a bunch of her work actually for like the past couple of months, because like every time I go on Twitter, I literally see her name or some clips of her pop up. I'm like, wait, like she's really good. And then I found out like she's only been wrestling for a couple of years, and I'm like, gosh, like you are so talented and so strong and like so good, so fast. And I actually tuned into her match with Kylie Alexa at a tournament they just had like 2 months ago or something. I ended up watching that live on IWTV, and that was an amazing match because I was looking forward to Laynie versus Allie. I'm like, let me just watch the rest of the show because we always support the girlies out here, and I was so impressed by her, and hopefully we have an amazing match. I'm excited to see what both of us bring to the table.
And I have to ask you too, being on a show like WWR Plus, which has changed over the years, but is still a very, very, very prestigious all women's promotion. Does that add anything to you going into this one?
It puts a chip on my shoulder because this is my WWR Plus debut, and I love an all women's show because I feel like the girls, when we're in an environment where it's all girls and it's an all women's locker room, we just bring out the best of each other. And we always push each other to be the best and go out there and make each match better than the last or equal. And I feel like this show as a whole is going to be one of the can't miss shows.
For sure. And, I want to look at the bigger picture here for a second. And that is like seeing these promotions like WWR Plus, these all women's show, all women's promotions. How important is it for you to see this type of atmosphere continue for the women's professional wrestling scene on the independents?
I love it. Being a part of like all women's locker rooms, like it brings a type of energy that like is very good for the soul. Like, I love seeing like girls I haven't seen in months or sometimes years. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like I haven't seen you in forever. Like, this is great. And I feel like it's very important to have all women shows. It for me, when I was growing up, I never would have expected to have an all women show. And when WWE brought in Evolution, like I used to watch Shimmer growing up, and like to see everything like evolve so quickly. For the longest time, all we had was like Shimmer and Shine and all that good stuff. And now it's almost like once a month I'm seeing like an all women show be represented, and it's very amazing to see. And I love to see all the new girlies that keep popping up. And yeah.
Honestly, I love it so much because it does put a showcase on. I'm gonna get not to go off on like a serious tangent here, but like I love wrestling. Wrestling is great. I had this discussion with a few women's wrestlers recently in interviews as well. Seeing the growth of women's wrestling has been absolutely amazing because sadly there's so many promotions out there that still do believe in the one match, sometimes one woman on a show, like, and they put them in an intergender match. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I won't shout it out because I'm not going to give them any publicity, but like there's promotions up here near me that don't even have any women on their show. And
Oh
I'm
yes,
like,
I know.
how do you like
Yeah,
kind of in 2026,
it's crazy.
all the talent out there, yourself, Liviyah, like how do you like not like, so yeah, like what are your thoughts on just seeing the evolution of women's wrestling, but like kind of seeing like how far it needs to go still as well?
So I've been on a lot of shows where rather I'm the only girl there or there's only one women's match. And I understand where people come from, where they're like, well, women are expensive and all this stuff. And I'm like, guys, because we know what we're doing. We need to be represented on every show, whether you like it or not. If you can pay for somebody that's been out of the business for years and they just come back every once in a while to be on your show, you can pay to have a very good 10 to 15-minute women's match on your show. And a lot of the shows I've been on recently have multiple women's matches, and I'm loving it. Like, I love that there's little kids in the audience or teenagers or adults that come up to me after the show and they're like, "Oh my goodness, you were amazing. Like, I'm so glad to have somebody like that my kid can look up to or that I can look up to." Like, it's amazing to see, and I just hope like we strive every time to have 2 to 3 women's matches on every show. That's what I hope. I really hope that works out one day. Um and I hope it just continues to grow and grow, and I hope women are more respected in this business because we go out there just like the guys and put our bodies on the line. There's no reason we should be treated any differently.
Honestly, I could not have said it any better myself because some of my favorite matches now at shows are the women's matches. And that's saying something because, like, like let's say a show has 8 matches on it, only one is a women's match, but guess what? That match steals the whole show. That's just how
Exactly.
it is. But it's just like, and I'm not throwing shade at those promotions, but I will throw shade too because I'm just like, dude, if you're only booking one women's match, and one women's match, like I said, is generous because there are times when I see no women's matches, and there's times when I see one women's wrestler against a like a intergender type of like
Yeah, an
bullshit.
intergender match.
And then they're like, oh well, we have another woman booked on here. She's managing one of the guys in the main event. I'm like, that doesn't count.
That doesn't
Like,
count. That doesn't count, guys. That
so
does
it's
not
just
count.
like I definitely hope to see the promotions kind of come up to speed in 2026. Like, it's 2026. What are we doing here? The amount of talent, the amount of talent on the indie scene is just wild right now. So
Yes.
yeah, you kind of answered it there. But what are your goals for the future of women's wrestling as well?
I hope women's wrestling continues to knock down doors and pave the way for more people. Like, a lot of people like the Bella Twins, AJ Lee, Trish Stratus, like all of them have paved the way for women's wrestlers like me. And I hope that one day I can keep knocking down doors for women's wrestling and women's wrestlers and continue to just keep it going. We're not stopping anytime soon.
Excellent. And you know what? I cannot wait for WWR Plus. I cannot wait for this weekend. It is going to be a blast. It's going to be so fun. Please go check it out. IWTV. Go check out the whole weekend. The whole weekend looks ecstatic.
It's
like
stacked.
It's going to be so much fun stuff. It's going to be amazing. And, you know, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up, not pertaining to this weekend, but one of my favorite tag teams, because I haven't been seeing a ton from BCW lately. I don't know if they're on hiatus or what's going on there.
We're on hiatus right now.
Okay. So,
but
I absolutely loved your tag team with Stunning Law, which I believe you guys are still women's the tag team champions there, not women's.
Yes, we are. Rated independent.
And what is it like for you to work with Journey? There we go. 700 days according to Cage Match. So that's really something. That's something cool.
We love to see it.
Yeah.
But tagging
but
tagging with Journey, she was one of my first matches at BCW. And then the next time we saw each other, we were a tag team. I said, oh, okay. Like, I'm not mad at that. And first time we tagged together, we won the tag team championships. And I feel like over the course of like the past 2 years, she has became one of my favorite people in wrestling. And I feel like we just bring out the best in each other, rather we're against women, men, doesn't matter. One time we were against a puppet. We just have a great time out there. And I feel like Stunning Law in general, like we're not stopping. And we're just continuing to get better and better. And hopefully we can defend those tag titles at different promotions all around the world. And yeah.
I love that because, you know, Journey is such a special talent who I know I said it before about Valentina, but she is underrated. Journey is super underrated.
Yes.
She's been putting in a lot of great work, and I've been able to see it too, like in her matches. She looks absolutely incredible. So I love everything she's been doing too. And so when did you realize like there was something here with Journey, like compared to like, you know, just being thrown in a tag team match? I'm sure there's times where it's just like, all right, you know, that was fun, whatever, like on to the next. But with Journey, it seems like you guys just like clicked right away.
So like when we first wrestled each other, we were each like just a couple matches in to wrestling. I'd say I know I was under like 30 like matches. And I don't know how long she had been wrestling at that point, but calling that match was like so easy. Like we were just putting ideas right off each other, and to be able to work alongside her, like you ever get that moment where like you click with a person immediately? Like that's what happened with me and her. And I feel like each time we just get better and better, and having her like in my life, not just in wrestling, but just in general. Like she's an amazing person, and I am so happy that she is my tag partner and no one else's. And yeah.
And you know, I gotta say, congratulations to Journey as well, because we saw her and Junie just recently announced their marriage. That was all. I love it. Beautiful love stories. My heart's happy.
I was so mad. I called her. I said, what? They got engaged in November. I was in the car with like Chris Bay, Brittany Brooks, my friend Ashley. Like, they're engaged. What? And then I saw they got married. Girl, what did you tell me?
I love that, honestly. And like I said, massive congratulations to them. Seriously, that's such a special moment. And they're two of the nicest people too. Like I've dealt with Junie and talked to Junie. He's such a nice guy. And Journey is also an absolute sweetheart. So I love everything for them. I'm super happy for them. That's awesome.
Yes.
And, you know, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up also, we are a few weeks removed now, but you had one of your craziest WrestleMania weeks since joining wrestling. You competed at 4 shows. Hodair Mania, Sean Henderson, GCW, and the clusterfuck. But what was your mindset coming out of that weekend, and when you got home, just like looking back at everything as well?
Once I got home, I came to the realization I never want to go to Vegas ever again. I've never been so overstimulated in my life. Never want to see Fremont Street again. It can stay over there. But like the wrestling side of it, oh my god, amazing. I loved seeing a bunch of like my West Coast friends that I barely get to see. I loved seeing them, and like Motor Mania was an amazing experience. That was an all women's show. And it was an amazing match we had. And then I ended up going to like my friend's art show in between shows. I was like, go somewhere new while you're here. And then wrestling for was one-on-one for the first time with Sean Henderson. That was an amazing match. And then the clusterfuck. The clusterfuck is the clusterfuck. I wrestled the Invisible Man, got eliminated by the Invisible Man. Me and Channing Decker did not know each other till that day, but we had a great moment, and the Invisible Man moved out of the way, and I was kissing Channing instead of the Invisible Man. I was really trying to seduce the Invisible Man not to eliminate me. I was really trying.
And I have to ask about that match specifically. That clusterfuck. I remember talking to Joey Janela a while ago about I did an interview with him. And obviously his mind for the business is just one of the absolute, like, I don't know what goes through it, but it just works. You know what I mean? Like, it just works. So it's like,
yes,
putting that together, like, how do you even prepare for a match like with like 100 people in it close to?
Okay, so fun fact, I had a WrestleMania extra work that day. So I went straight from WrestleMania back to my hotel, grabbed my gear, went downstairs because I was told originally the call time was like 8:30. Mania ended at like 7:30. And I was like 10 minutes away, but with Mania traffic, I was like, I'm not gonna get there in time. It was my first time ever working with like GCW in general. And I was like, I'm not gonna be late. I got this, guys. And then I get there and the show got pushed back. And I was like, oh, okay. I was told it was starting at like 10 p.m. Vegas time, but ended up starting at like midnight Vegas time. I was so tired. And we have Mr. KJ Orso trying to read off all the names that are going. And he gets to me. I was entrant number 32. 32 out of like 70 something. I was like, oh my goodness. And I'm coming out with like 3 guys that didn't know who they were at the time. And they're like, okay, we need somebody's music. So I made these 3 grown-ass men come out to my music. And I said, we're going to jam. We're going to jam to Britney Spears and Ariana Grande. Come on, guys. We're going to do great.
Honestly, I loved it from the entrance to the freaking spot to the match, the Invisible Man. The whole thing was amazing. And my one complaint is I have work the next day at like 8:00, and I live on the East Coast, right? So I just want to point that out.
When I tell you,
it was bad.
We didn't leave there. I don't think we left that building till like 3 a.m. And thank God my hotel was upstairs. Like I just got to go straight upstairs into my room. At one point, normally I change before leaving the show. I went straight up to my room in gear. I was like, I have WrestleCon. I have to be up for WrestleCon in like 3 hours. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do with everything in the morning. I'm gonna wake up at like 7. I'm gonna do great. Yeah. Woke up to my friend waking me up, and she was like, Emily. I was like, yeah. She goes, it's 9:15. I said, oh. I was like, okay, let me get ready very quickly. Fastest I've ever gotten ready. I think I got ready in legit 10 minutes and was downstairs by 9:30. I don't know how that happened, but it did.
There you go. I gotta say, I love the Vegas hotel. I love the scene. The atmosphere looked insane. Maybe we could do it like on the East Coast next year, though. Like that'd be pretty fun too. You know, like something like that.
Please, I need it. I
And
don't want to go to Vegas.
no, it's a beautiful city, I'm sure, but the time
No.
change messes with me so much because I was covered. No, okay, never mind then. But the time change messes with me so much because like it started here around 1 o'clock and it ended around 4, and then I was like,
Yes.
shit, I have to be up for work in like 3 hours, so this is fun. But it was fine. Like we made do. You made do. You know.
Yes.
So it was very interesting. It was like, but I absolutely love the clusterfuck. Spring break was amazing. That whole weekend was amazing. You crushed it in all of your matches.
Thank
I'll put
you.
you on the spot a little bit here. Did you have a favorite match or a favorite spot from that weekend?
From that weekend? Oh my goodness. So I really liked the ending of me and Brittany Brooks's match at Sean Henderson because we called that match in legit like 5 minutes and then had to go out because she was double booked and she had to go from like the Collective Hotel to Fremont Street, which is about a 15-minute ride. And she was driving and still she had apparently never been to Fremont Street, so she didn't even know where she was going. And yeah, we called that match in less than 5 minutes and then went out and did it. And the ending sequence of that match is one of my favorites because she hooked me for her little "it's Brittany bitch," and somehow I got her out, snapmade her out, and gave her a stunner. And 1, 2, 3, go home. And I still beat her ass.
I love that. I love that match. I was able to watch it back. I don't know if it's streamed live or not because I was really
I
trying to
don't think it.
find it
No,
live.
it did not. It did not stream live.
I was like, damn, I wish it was
Come on.
streaming live. Like it was
We didn't even-
WrestleMania week. You got to stream it live.
Yes.
But it
I
was
think
still
we
a
tried.
fantastic match. It was, yeah, I get
I
it
think.
because there was one. I believe it was action.
Oh yeah.
I think it was action. No, it wasn't action. It might have been St. Louis Anarchy. Anarchy, maybe who was having the. There was one place that was having a lot of issues with
Oh
Wi-Fi.
yeah.
There was one place that like there was like a whole bunch of promotions running and they couldn't even run their like shit there. They couldn't even stream it.
Dang.
So
I think I saw that during Mania, and I was like, oh, okay.
that was not fun. I felt so bad for them. I'm like, that sucks.
Yes.
But yeah, it was a fun weekend. It was a fun weekend, all things considered.
Very long.
And it looked like a blast for you. Maybe next year, no more Vegas. Move it
No.
to. Let's go to Saudi. No, let's not do that either. Let's
go to like Florida. Let's go to Florida.
Let's go to East Coast. Come to the East Coast. You know, it's
Yes.
simple. But you were also announced, switching gears a little bit, for the T2T Wrestling Battle for the Brave event. That's going to be such an amazing show, but I think it's more important that people realize like it's for a beautiful cause by Macklin and Deonna Purrazzo, I believe.
Yes.
You're teaming up with Tiara James to face off with Priscilla Kelly and Shotzi Blackheart. But what is your mindset in just taking part of the show and heading into this tag team match?
So I'm very excited for this match. When Deonna told me like, "Hey, are you still available?" I said, "Oh yes, ma'am. Anything for you, girl." And I get to be in the ring with Priscilla again, and I get to wrestle Shotzi for the first time. And I get to tag with TR James. And I think Top Tier and the Stunner just go perfect together. And to do this for Deonna and Steve is an amazing thing. They're literally auntie and unc. And Steve hates that I call them that. But I'm like, dude, y'all can literally be my aunt and uncle. I am literally only 22 years old. I am a child. I'm like, when I did an interview with them, he had asked me, something. He was like, "Wait, were you even born before? Were you alive during 9/11?" I said, "No, I was born in 2003," and I was like, "I was not even a thought. My bad." But like to be a part of this show is an amazing thing. I love what they're doing with it. I love that we have the infantry on the show. We have um the Hardy Boys, we have Megan Bain, we have Joey, we have the Rascals, we have Steve, we have all these amazing matches going on, and I love what they're doing with it, and I hope this is not the last.
I hope to see it. I don't know if it'll ever be a monthly show, but I hope to see it at least like 4 or 5 times a year. That would be amazing because it's such like it looks like a stacked show. It's going to be an amazing show, but it also looks like it's for a good reason too. So it's like, it's that plus an amazing show. It's can't ask for more. Can't ask for more.
Yes, I'm very
So
excited.
looking ahead for you. Oh yeah. So looking ahead for you specifically, what are your future goals in this world, whether it be 2026 goals or just in the future?
I hope to sign a contract soon. And you never know where I'm going to pop up. I've had a lot of things go very fast lately. And stuff is finally clicking together for me. And I'm like, this is crazy. I don't know what's happening in my life, but it's going. So hopefully in the next couple years, I do get to sign a contract. And yeah.
Fingers crossed, because you are absolutely going to kill it when you get to TV. Because I know it's not a matter of if, it's a when now. But I hope to see you on that WWE ID prospect list soon, or anything like that. It's just WWE ID, which is super cool. We saw Fallen Gray, Eric Academia names get picked up recently. Valentina Rossi. So yeah, you're up next. That's for sure.
You never know where I'll pop up. You never know. It's always a mystery.
Exactly. And looking ahead also for you, is there anyone that you really would like to share the ring with that you haven't gotten a chance to yet?
Oh my gosh, Shaza McKenzie. I really want to wrestle her, like very badly. Shaw's definitely up there. I feel like there's so many things, and I can't say, but I will say I've had a bunch of stuff come to play as months where I've gotten to know some people too. And in the next few months, I have a bunch of big matches coming up that I've looked forward to for years, and finally happening.
Honestly, I pray we get to see all those happen, because you and Shaza would be amazing too. Like that would be a fantastic match, 1-on-1.
Yes.
Got to see that. Got to see that. And so, is there any final message that you have for anyone watching this or reading this, and how they can follow you, support you, buy your merch, or anything that you want to tell them?
Never let anyone tell you you can't do it. Oh my gosh, that is so important. But you can find me on all social media platforms at Emily J Pro.
And I will be sure to include everything in the description down below. So literally all you gotta do is click. Like you can't be lazy, just click it, one button, simple. Piece of cake. But Emily, I really appreciate your time. It was an absolute pleasure to work with you.
Thank you so much for having me.